just like family, thinking of you. Top-notch agents always say can do. Life is good here.
Hello again, this is Rob the Realtor, and I am here to give you an update of the real estate market in Lake County, and more specifically Kelseyville and Lakeport. I also have a bold prediction towards the end of this video where I'm going to predict where I think the real estate market is going here in Lake County, as well as what I think is going on in the country for 2022. So if we take a look at Lake County prices, they've inched their way up the last 3 months from 295, 300, 308, so 2.7% increase month over month. And then if we look back at January of this year versus January last year, Lake County prices are up 12%. Now when you look here at the individual markets, it's a pretty small sample size, 14 sales, 15, 9, 8. So we really can't pay too much attention to those limited sales because the numbers can be skewed. But looking at the Lake County numbers, I think that's a more true indication of what the Lake County market is doing. So now if we look at the quarter numbers, now we're looking at a sample size of 3 months at a time, three month chunks. So you're getting a much bigger sample size. I think the numbers are much more accurate. So these are year to year, third quarter versus third quarter, fourth quarter versus fourth quarter. You can see in the third quarter, prices were up quite a bit in Lake County year over year. And then in the fourth quarter, they're up again, but at a much more gradual pace. Now the thing I want you to pay attention to is let's look at the third quarter of 2021 versus the fourth quarter of 2021. Prices actually dipped in Lake County, Kelseyville, and Lakeport. So that's the same way across the board. We saw prices actually go down. Now, if you look at Lake County, that is $17,000 decrease quarter over quarter. So that's going to be roughly 5%, a 5% decrease just in the between third and fourth quarter. Now that gets me to my next prediction. I think that real estate prices in Lake County and probably nationwide are going to see a leveling off this year in 2022. Real estate is always going to be local though. Certain markets are going to be going up, certain markets might be going down, and everything in between. But here we are in Lake County, this is what we want to focus on. I think again in 2022 prices are going to level off and maybe even take a dip, especially if the Fed holds true to their promise of 3 to 4 interest rate hikes this year. The higher interest rates go, higher mortgage rates go, the less amount of home a buyer can afford to pay. That puts downward pressure on real estate prices. Now the Fed, I think, might be able to accomplish 3 or 4 rate hikes. They want to try to get about 1% of an increase in 2022. If they are able to accomplish that, and that's a big if, I think towards the end of this year, beginning of next year, we might see another taper tantrum like we did in the stock market at the end of 2018 when they kept raising interest rates. So it's going to be a very interesting year in 2022. I think we're also going to see a large increase in inventory, whereas the last 2 years, during COVID, inventory levels have been very, very low, and demand has been very, very high, and that's been, a main cause of prices going up and up and up. But as this inventory increases, I think it's going to again put more pressure on real estate prices to level off or decrease. So again, my predictions for 2022, higher rates, leveling off prices or even decreasing prices, and a much greater inventory. So that's going to be good for buyers. You're going to have more homes to choose from. Sellers can still cash in on all that equity they've gained in the last few years. So it's going to be a much more balanced market. But I think 2022 is going to be a big tipping point with our real estate market and our economy. So that you've heard it here first at the Rob the Realtor channel. I'm curious to know what you think the real estate market and stock market are going to do, and if you think the Fed can accomplish 3 or 4 rate hikes this year. I'm Rob the Realtor, and until next time, happy house hunting.
Just like family, thinking of you. Top-notch agents always say can do. Life is good here.